Bob Savakinus. Welcome to our program in a nutshell. Today we have two very special guests joining us. Rosemary Bohunick from the Viewmont Mall. She is the marketing director. And we have Joe Claphatch, who is a local history enthusiast who also works with the Lackawanna County Library System. Today we're going to talk about a specific event on October 1st that's going to be happening at the Viewmont Mall for all those history lovers out there. And we're also going to talk about some other activities that we have upcoming at the Viewmont Mall and some interesting things that Mr. Claphatch has been involved with. So, welcome to both of our guests today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today. So let's go right into the October 1st History Fair, we're calling it. And it's going to be at the Viewmont Mall from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we have about 20 plus organizations that are going to be there. And Joe, from what I understand, you kind of were the catalyst to try and get this event happening.
Yeah. First of all, this was something that I've always thought about, getting all these groups together, because there's some great historical societies throughout the area. A lot of them have little museums, but they're hidden away and people don't know about them. And I wanted to get the groups together in one place. I found out earlier this year that Schuylkill County has been doing it for years at the Fairlane Village Mall, went down there, and they get lines of people waiting to come in just to see the old pictures and the old memorabilia. So it was, I was trying to find a place, and luckily the Viewmont Mall was open to the idea, and we put the word out there, and I'm still pinching myself that it's actually happening, because it looks like it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to bring back a lot of memories for people that are just going to be strolling the mall. And while they're strolling the mall, they can also do some shopping there too.
And I think the timing is almost perfect because it seems like people are rushing things more than ever. And again, I hate to use that term, but I mean, the holiday season will be approaching, so it'll be a great opportunity for people who love our local history, who want to purchase gifts or just to relive old memories, as you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
So there's over 20 organizations. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the organizations that you expect to be participating?
Well, we have, of course, starting with Lackawanna Historical Society. I've bugged them enough to get things started. And they kind of cover the entire Lackawanna County area. We also have Wayne County coming in, and then we have some of the community historical societies. We've got Archibald and German. We've got Carbondale, which has a museum up above City Hall, but not many people know about it. Dickson City, who they're a very small group, but they've got some very neat stuff, old yearbooks and old pictures from Dickson City. We've got Greenfield, which has a little building up behind the borough building or the township building, but they've got a nice little museum, but people don't even know that they're there. And we've got the Lackawanna County Library System, which also has a lot of materials, such as old yearbooks and the old newspapers and things like that. And just looking to bring these people in and show what they have, maybe stoke some interest for the historical societies, have people maybe come and visit them or become members and work with them.
Sounds like it's going to be a great day and a great time. And it's at the Viewmont Mall on October the 1st from 10 o'clock to 4. Rosemary, tell us a little bit about the Viewmont Mall and how much they love working with our local nonprofits and just being a great partner to deal with.
We're always open to work with nonprofits. I personally come from a background of working with nonprofits my whole life and volunteering, so I can appreciate their mission to get the word out there and make this history fair the best that it can be so that people can enjoy it. So we truly enjoy working with nonprofits.
And there is no charge for the event, am I correct? It's
That is
basically
correct.
open to
Free
the
to
public.
the public, yes.
Let's go, we're talking about history a little bit. Let's go a little history of the Viewmont Mall, if we can. So tell us a little bit about what the Viewmont Mall was all about at its inception and where we're at with it now.
Well, the Viewmont Mall was built in 1968. It has grown and evolved through the years. I believe it started with Sears Roebuck being the anchor store for the mall. And then Hess's, and we've seen so many different anchors through the years. It's very strong right now. We have a vibrant mall. Every day I go out on the mall floor and I'm just shocked at how many people are out there shopping. In a time when you basically have a lot of online shoppers, there's still a lot of people that want to get out there and actually touch and feel what they're going to buy. So it's evolved through the years.
And I'm one of those people, I like to go into a store, I like to see my product, I like to, as you said, touch and feel, I like to see what's there and everything. But I know recently we interviewed you for a documentary project that I did, and it was amazing to see how great the mall looks, to see the the community coming out there, the vibrancy of the shopping and everything like that. How does it make you feel, though, to be walking around and just saying, like, we're doing some good things here at the Viewmont Mall?
I'm very proud at what we do. You know, the events and getting people in the community together and gathering, it makes me proud to be part of that. I'm doing the best that I can to book every weekend. There's literally an event every weekend from now until January. So we're definitely doing our part to bring the community together.
Sounds wonderful. Obviously, you're a fan of local history as well. What are your thoughts on having all these historical organizations and community partners there at the mall? I mean, are you going to do some shopping as well and relive some memories and everything? What are your thoughts?
Of course, yes. I can't wait, actually. I am a local history buff. My grandfather was a coal miner, so I truly can appreciate our local history. So I'm looking forward myself to browsing the different vendors that come to the show.
Okay. So, Joe, let's talk a little bit about your background. Again, I know that you love our local history and everything. You've authored several books on firefighting
Yes.
in our community. Tell us a little bit about your background, about why do you love our local history? Why the firefighting aspect of things?
It's just something that I kind of grew up with. I wasn't a firefighter, but I was a dispatcher for 20 plus years, and it was something that just kind of had an interest to me. I started years ago just kind of putting the different histories from different centennial books together. And then all of a sudden there were a lot more questions that came up than answers, and started checking looking them up. And that led to going in with one question, coming away with 5 questions. And so I started going through the newspapers page by page, which took about 10 years. And while I was doing that, I was putting together fire department histories just for my own personal enjoyment, I guess. And a number of people started saying, well, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with this? I don't know. And some people suggested, why don't you start a book? Well, it started to be a book on all of the fire companies in Lackawanna County, which finally got whittled down to the first book, which was Carbondale, because there was over 100 pages just on Carbondale alone going back to 1843. Scranton came next, and that was over 300 pages. So it was way too big for just one book. And now I get a lot of the different fire companies coming to me, and when are you going to do us? When are you going to do us? And but when you're doing the history for the fire companies, you come across a lot of other information. And I've supplied information to different groups, and hopefully, advance some history in some cases. In my fire department research, I've been lucky enough, I found some information in the olden days that has added about half dozen names on the firefighters' monument of line of duty deaths that were forgotten into history. I have another group of police officers that have been turned over to the Scranton Police that are hopefully going to be added to the monument there if it deems that they are indeed falling into their qualifications. And sometimes it's just posting pictures of old memories on Facebook or something like that, of old stores that people remember, and you'll put something down and it's like, yeah, I remember shopping there, or yeah, we used to go there, on a weekend or something like that. And it's just kind of neat to see that. And that's one of the things with this, as these different groups are going to be bringing in pictures, you're going to have people just walking around and saying, yeah, I remember that, or we used to go here, and things like that.
And I think, again, that's why it'll be a great opportunity for people to come out and kind of commemorate and remember their history.
Yeah.
But I know, again, Joe, you're such a great resource for anyone that's looking for information on the fire departments, on fire type of events, because I remember a few years back when I did a documentary, one of my documentaries on Rocky Glen Park, and you had some amazing photos of when the park was on fire at that point.
Yeah.
So again, you're a great resource. How do people reach out to you, though, for if they need information or want to get to you about this research?
I've had people come in. I work at the Carbondale Library. I've had people come in there. I've had people contact the Lackawanna Historical Society, who then contact me. I have had people reach out to me either through emails or through Facebook or whatever. And if I can help them, I try to. Sometimes it's gotten to be very interesting. You see some of these stories, especially now with like internet genealogy and things like that, where where people start digging in and trying to solve different cases from way back when. And sometimes it's a family history question, and it's amazing sometimes if you just know what to start putting in, and when you actually get that answer, you feel so good. Okay, what's next? So it's just a lot of fun, actually.
Well, I just want to thank you again for all that you do, and as far as researching and keeping our local history alive, especially with the fire departments, fire companies, things like that, because it's, again, you have quite an accomplished collection of amazing artifacts.
Well, a lot of
and
these
information.
fire companies also were in the center of town. I mean, here in the city of Scranton, in the olden days, you had all the important people. They were all members of the companies. So while you talk about quote unquote fire department histories, you're actually talking about the history of the community that they served. And that's one thing when you're doing the histories, you find out that there's certain things that just, it reaches out to so much in the community, because while they were there when the bad things were happening, those places were also the center for different organization meetings, for people's parties, for their weddings and things like that. So it was a center of the community.
And speaking of center of community, Rosemary, the Viewmont Mall, you said you had a whole bunch of activities coming up. Let's hear about some other things besides the History Fair. That'll be again on October 1st at the Viewmont Mall. What other events can people look forward to going to at the Viewmont Mall?
We have so many fun events coming up. I'll start and jump ahead a little bit to November 12th, Santa's Arrival Parade. So every year we bring Santa in on the fire truck, we do a little parade, we have some characters, activities for the kids, music. It's a great time for the whole family. So we're looking forward to that, November 12th. And then October is jam-packed. We, of course, have the History Fair on October 1st, which we've already discussed. October 7th through the 9th, we have a pop-up market with various different local businesses. October 14th, there's a healthcare and career fair, which will be great for not only high school students, but also college and beyond. October 15th, my personal favorite, the Pet Expo, which is put on through the Animal Welfare Collaborative of Northeastern Pennsylvania through the Scranton Area Foundation. So that will be quite the event for all the little pups and kitties out there. And then we also have some other pop-up markets in October and November. And then we also have an Imagination Creativity Fair, which will be put on through Moonshot Moose. And that is going to be kind of a Disney-themed event, and it's brand new to this area. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Any of our events can be found at shopviewmontmall.com.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your role. What is it like to be out there marketing, advocating for the Viewmont Mall, and dealing with the public, dealing with the nonprofits and everything like that? What's a typical day like for you?
Oh, a typical day. Well, it varies. I handle our advertising, but I also do these events where people like Joe come to me with this idea, and they're like, I've been dreaming of doing this for so long, and just to see it come to inception and the excitement around it and the possibilities for the community to gather, it's very exciting for me. It really takes my job outside the box a little bit, so I truly enjoy that.
And it sounds like the Viewmont Mall is always willing to partner and look for new activities, to new partnerships and things like that, to showcase groups or to showcase the mall as well.
We do. We're looking forward to new and exciting things for the area. And working with the nonprofits is near and dear to my heart and to the company's heart. Preet is a very giving company. We always make it a point around the holidays to do give backs, and it's definitely a goal of ours to be involved with our community.
And I'm assuming next year you're out there already recruiting different organizations and ideas and events and everything for the Viewmont Mall. Anything you want to tease us on for next year yet at this point, or you're pretty well booked up at this point?
We're pretty well booked up. We're looking at the calendar. I'm working with our local promoters. We had our first annual bike weekend back in August. That was a big hit because it was the first of its kind for this area. So we worked with Janice's Purse Collection on that project. And we're looking to bring new things like that for 2023.
Okay, well, again, it sounds like a great opportunity for people to see the great stores at the mall that are there, do some shopping, and just kind of enjoy the different events that you kind of went through, whether it's checking our local history, whether it's our pet friends or bike events and everything else. But so Joe, let's go back a little bit and talk a little bit about the library system. You work for the Lackawanna County Library
Yes, I
System,
do.
specifically in the Carbondale
Yes.
branch. So what is that like as far as working in the library system, and what's the Carbondale Library like, and things like that?
The Carbondale Library is right now really flourishing. We're doing a lot of new programs and up there right now, and attracting the community to come in. And over the last few years, I've seen an uptick. I've been there now about 3 years, but I'm constantly seeing an uptick in the number of people attending. Just coming in, a lot of children's and young adult programs, and then also some adult programs we're setting up. We're working with CareerLink right now, where they come in each week and work with people about getting new jobs or preparing them for jobs. We have a marketplace that goes on in the park across the street from the library several times throughout the year. So, just working with the community up there.
Okay. Rosemary, I'm going to go back to the history fair a little bit. What will the layout look like? I mean, what will shoppers and potential history enthusiasts and things like that, what will they have to look forward to for this event?
Well, I believe Joe said we were up to 21 vendors.
We're up to 21 right now.
Right.
And
So-
continuing to grow. We've still got other people, hopefully.
Yes, yeah. If anyone's interested, definitely reach out to Joe. We are looking at right now spreading it out a little bit throughout the mall so that everyone has their space and they can make the most of it with their historical items. So it'll be spread out a little bit throughout the mall, but mainly in Center Court.
Okay. And Joe, what do you anticipate these organizations bringing? I mean, like photos, displays, what are some of the things that people could look forward to seeing?
I'm looking at a lot of old photos. I'm looking at some memorabilia from the different towns. One of the places that I just found out about, which I've been working close with, is Montrose Fire Museum, and they're going to bring some memorabilia, and their history goes back into the 1840s. So there's going to be some interesting things there. You know, the Carbondale Historical Society, I know Dr. Powell up there, and he's got a lot of memorabilia up there, so we'll see things there. And he's, of course, very instrumental in the old Delaware and Hudson, railway. So we're going to be seeing things, and it's not only going to be from Lackawanna County, because we do have West Pittston coming in from Luzerne County. We have Wayne County. We have some surrounding areas, Clifford Township out of Susquehanna County. So it's for the entire area, and inviting people to come down, shop, and take a look and start remembering.
Well, Joe, I think you could be very proud of it just based on what you said, because it really truly is a regional. I mean, it's mainly Lackawanna County, but as you just said, we're stretching a little bit into Luzerne, Susquehanna, Wayne, things like that and everything. So
There's a lot of cases where, well, first of all, Lackawanna County was, of course, part of Luzerne County before. And some of these other counties, they were part of other counties too. And sometimes people's history bleed over to some of the surrounding counties also. So, to know that this is out there, that you could talk to them, that maybe their family history goes over to Susquehanna County or Wayne County, and you'll get a chance to talk to those people, see what they have, and maybe then follow. Genealogy is big right now with a lot of people, and they're always looking for that little piece of the puzzle that they can't find. And some of these groups might have that piece of the puzzle.
So what drives your interest in local history? What was that, element that made you say, I really want to learn more of our local history?
I don't know. I mean, I've always just loved the area, and I think people take this area for granted a lot of times. And when you grew up in this area, so you remember a lot of the stuff. A lot of things are gone, and it's always like, I remember when. You of course know Rocky Glen, and I think everybody that is at a certain age does remember, Rocky Glen and Naog Park. And if you're looking down in, the amusement parks especially, because as kids, that was something special for you to go to. But even, a lot of the other people will talk about, the stores, different department stores. You were talking about Hess's and things like that. And all those things from the past. And it's like, if only we can go back and remember, go to some of those places, because I know that they would have the thing I'm looking for now.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have that opportunity on October 1st to sort of go back in time a little bit, and whatever community you're from, there's so much representation, you'll have that chance to go back and just kind of relive that history a little bit and maybe even purchase some of that history.
Exactly, yes.
Rosemary, I'm going to ask you pretty much a similar question. So what is it that drives your love of local history and wanting to investigate more about what our past was like?
I think growing up here, we do take it for granted. Having been from this area my whole life, we do take it for granted. I know we talked with championship season, like that was very far in my memories as a child that I had attended the filming of it. And it wasn't until we started talking about it, I was like, oh gosh, my mom has a scrapbook about that, you know? And you get to look back on those fond memories, and it's very fun to be part of the local history and to relive it through something like the Historical Society's show that they're doing. So it's just fun.
Well, I want to thank both of our guests today for being with us. Again, October 1st at the Viewmont Mall from 10 o'clock until 4. We're going to have a local history fair with 20-plus vendors giving us that chance to walk down memory lane and kind of remember everything. We want to thank the Viewmont Mall for being such a great sponsor on this event and just a great community partner. Thank you, Rosemary, for being with us today.
Thank you.
And Joe, thank you for coordinating this and making this happen. And any thoughts on how to encourage everyone to come out and see it?
I'll tell you what, even if you just look at an old picture and you've in the past enjoyed it, maybe it was on Facebook or something like that, you're going to see a lot of that. So why don't you come out, take a stroll, take a look at the stuff, do some shopping. It's going to be a good time. And that's one of the things that's great about it being at the Viewmont Mall. It's all one floor. It's easy access. You can park and just walk in and walk around and take a look, and it's very convenient. You know, it's in the center of everything, so come on over.
Okay. And with those words, Joe, I think we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to encourage our viewers to come out to the Viewmont Mall on October 1st again to check out our local history fair. So thank you both for being our guests, Rosemary and Joe. I'm Bob Savakinus. Thank you for tuning into our program in a nutshell.